तिस राम स्नेह। जे प्रसाद तेरा ओला रहत, मन सुख पावे हर हर जस कहत। जे प्रसाद तेरे सगल छिद्र ढाके, मन शरणी पर ठाकुर प्रभ ताके। जे प्रसाद तुझको न पहुँचे, मन सास सिमरो प्रभ ऊंचे। जे प्रसाद पाई दुर्लभ दे, नानक ताके भगत करे। जे प्रसाद आप भूखन पैरी जय, मन तिस सिमरत क्यों आलस की जय। जे प्रसाद असु हस्त असवारी, मन तिस प्रभु को कबू न बिसारी। जे प्रसाद बाग मिलख तना, राख परोए प्रभु अपने मना। जिन तेरी मन बनत बनाई, उठत बैठत सद तिसै ते आई। जिसे थे आए जो एक अलख है, इहाँ उहाँ नानक तेरी रखै। जे प्रसाद कर पुन बोदान, मन आठ पहर कर तिसका ध्यान। जे प्रसाद तू आचार व्यवहारी, तिस प्रभु को सास चितारी। जय प्रसाद तेरा सुंदर रूप, सो प्रभु सिमरो सदा अनूप। जे प्रसाद तेरी नीकी जात, सो प्रभ सिमर सदा दिन रात। जे प्रसाद तेरी पत रहे, गुर प्रसाद नानक जस कह। जे प्रसाद सुने कर्ण नाद, जे प्रसाद पेखै बिस्माद। जे प्रसाद बोले अमृत रसना, जे प्रसाद सुख सहजे बसना। जे प्रसाद हस्त कर चलै, जे प्रसाद संपूर्ण फलै। जे प्रसाद परम गत पावै, जे प्रसाद सुख सहज समावै। ऐसा प्रभु त्याग अवर कत लागो, गुर प्रसाद नानक मन जागो। जे प्रसाद तू प्रगट संसार, तिस प्रभु को मूल न मनो विसार। जे प्रसाद तेरा परता, रे मन मूड तू ताको जा। जे प्रसाद तेरे कारज पूरे, तिस जान मन सदा हजूरे। जे प्रसाद तू पावै साज, रे मन मेरे तू तास्यों राज। जे प्रसाद सबकी गत होए, नानक जाप जपै जप सोए। आप जपाए जपै सो ना हो, आप गवाए सो हर गुण गाओ। प्रभु कृपा ते होए परगास, प्रभु दया ते कमल विगास। प्रभु सुप्रसन्न बसै मन सोए, प्रभु दया ते मत उत्तम होए। सर्व निधान प्रभु तेरी मया, आपो कछु न किन्हू लया। जित जित लावो तित लगे हर नाम, नानक इनका कछु ना हाथ सलो। अगम अगाध पार ब्रह्म सोए, जो जो कहे सो मुक्ता होए। सुन मीता नानक बिनवंता, साध जना की अचर्ज कथा। अष्टपदी साध के संग मुख उजल होत, साध संग मल सगली घोर। साध के संग मिटै अभिमान, साध के संग प्रगटै सो ज्ञान। साध के संग बुझै प्रभु नेरा, साध संग सब होत ने मेरा। साध के संग पाए नाम रत्न, साध का संग एक ऊपर जतन। साध की महिमा बरनै कौन परानी, नानक साध की शोभा प्रभ माहे समानी। साध के संग अगोचर मिलै, साध के संग सदा प्रफुल्लै। साध के संग आवे बस पंचा, साध संग अमृत रस घुंचा। साध संग होए सबकी रेन, साध के संग मनोहर बै। साध के संग ना कतहु तावै, साध संग असकृत मन पावै। साध के संग माया ते पिन, साध संग नानक प्रभ सो प्रसन्न। साध संग दुश्मन सब मीत, साधु कै संग महापुनी। साध संग किस स्यों नहीं बै, साधु कै संग ना बींगा पै। साध कै संग नाही को मंदा, साध संग जाने परमानंदा। साध कै संग नाही होता, साध कै संग तजै सब आपे जाने साध बढ़ाई। नानक साध प्रभु बन आई। साध के संग ना कबहू तावै, साध के संग सदा सुख पावै। साध संग बस्त अगोचर लहै, साधु के संग अजर सहै। साध के संग बसै थान ऊंचै, साधु के संग महल पहुँचै। साध के संग दृढ़ सब कर्म, साध के संग केवल पार ब्रह्म। साध के संग पाए नाम निधान, नानक साधु कै कुर्बान। साध कै संग सब कुल उधारै, साध संग साजन मीत कुटुंब निस्तारै। साधु कै संग सो धन पावै, जिस धन ते सब को वरसावै। साध संग धर्म राय करे सेवा, साध कै संग शोभा सुर देवा। साधु कै संग पाप पलायन, साध संग अमृत गुण गायन। साध कै संग सब थान गम, नानक साध कै संग सफल जन्म। साध कै संग नहीं कछ काल, दर्शन भेटत होत निहाल। साध कै संग कलुखत हरै, साध कै संग नरक पर हरै। साध कै संग इहाँ उहाँ सुहेला, साध संग बिछरत हर वेला। जो इच्छै सोई फल पावै, साध कै संग ना बिरथा जावै। पार ब्रह्म साध हृद बसै, नानक उतरै साध सुन रसै। साध कै संग सुनो हर नाम, साध संग हर के गुण गाऊं। साध कै संग ना मन ते बिसरै, साध संग सर पर निस्करै। साध कै संग लगै प्रभु मीठा, साधु कै संग घट घट मीठा। साध संग पै आज्ञाकारी, साध संग गत पई हमारी। साध कै संग मिटे सब रोग, नानक साध फेटे संजोग। साध की महिमा भेद न जानै, जेता सुनते ताव बख्यानै। साध की उपमा ते गुण ते दूर, साध की उपमा रही भरपूर। साध की शोभा का नाही अंत, साध की शोभा सदा व्यंत। साध की शोभा ऊंच ते ऊंची, साध की शोभा ऊंच ते ऊंची। साध की शोभा साध बन आई, नानक साध प्रभ भेद न पाई। सलो मन साचा मुख साचा सोए, अवर न पेखै एकस्मिन कोय। नानक ए लक्षण ब्रह्म ज्ञानी होय। अष्टपदी ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्ले, जैसे जल में कमल अले। ब्रह्म ज्ञानी सदा निर्दो, जैसे सूर सर्व को सो।
लखाते हजारा, मैं बीता खड़ी सतगुरु तैनु पुकारा, तैनु पुकारा। मेरे जया तैनु हजारा लखा ते हजारा मैं वीता खड़ी सतगुरु तेनु पुकारा फसीहा विच मजदार दे तेरे दार दे आई रुलदी रुलादी गले लगा ले सतगुर प्यारे आ मेरी पे
So I have this uncontrollable impulse to introduce
Hello everyone, welcome to. Sorry. Can I start? Welcome to today's satsang. Today our schedule starts with a song by Anonymous, "Oh Divine Colorful Tire," and a song by Beth, "How Deep Is the Love You Give to Me." We have a talk by Michael and a talk by Vishes. The topic is Anurag Sagar, and then we will meditate for 5 minutes and we will watch Master's video. And finally, we will meditate with love and devotion. Thank you so much. We can start.
Is there a translation for the Shabd?
I don't have a translation, Michael.
Puneet, you have it?
I didn't see any translation on Facebook.
Let me see if I find it. 1 second.
Okay.
The translation is in the video, brother.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Cool.
रंगरेज तेरे रंग दरिया में ओ रंगरेज तेरे रंग दरिया में डूबना है बस तेरा बन के हाय नहीं रहना दूजा बन के एक भी सांस अलग नहीं लेनी एक भी सांस अलग मुझको रंग दे धीमे धीमे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे सौंधे सौंधे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे, रंग देना रंग देना रंग देना, हो अपने ही रंग में। मुझको रंग दे धीमे धीमे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे सौंधे सौंधे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे, रंग देना रंग देना रंग देना। घुंघरू है तू मैं तो हूँ पाँव पिया छननननन, पीपल तू मैं तो हूँ छाँव पिया तभी हूँ मगन, हो नैनों में बस छब तेरी लहराए छलके 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 रे बरसे हल्के हल्के अपने ही रंग में, हो अपने ही रंग में। मुझको रंग दे धीमे धीमे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे सौंधे सौंधे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे, रंग देना रंग देना रंग देना। हो मेरा पालम रंग मेरा साजन रंग मेरा घातक रंग मेरा गहन रंग मेरा फागुन रंग मेरा सावन रंग, पल पल रंग दे मेरे आठों पहर मन भावन रंग, ओ रंग रेस तेरे रंग दरिया में, ओ रंग रेस तेरे रंग दरिया में, डूबना है बस तेरा बन के, हाय नहीं रहना दूजा बन के। एक भी सांस अलग नहीं लेनी, एक भी सांस अलग नहीं लेनी, खींच लेना प्राण इस तन के, हाय नहीं रहना दूजा बन के। अपने ही रंग में मुझको रंग दे धीमे धीमे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे सौंधे सौंधे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे, रंग देना रंग देना रंग देना। माला मिया तुझको पिरोलूं तुझे पहनूं सजन, होठों मिया सरगम सा बोलूं तुझे रट लूं सजन, सजन टीस मेरी पीस दे मुझ में ही खुल जा, मिल जा सजना पिघल के, मिल जा अपने ही रंग में, हो अपने ही रंग में। मुझको रंग दे धीमे धीमे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे सौंधे सौंधे रंग में, मुझको रंग दे, रंग देना रंग देना रंग देना।
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Beth and Anonymous, for the beautiful songs, shabds. Very, very, very nice, soothing. Thank you for the seva. We all appreciate. And my dear holy family, welcome to another day, another holy day in Holy Father God, where we all gather together. Where's Master's picture? One second. Where we all gather together to speak some words of wisdom about our true home, about our true destination, where we are headed to, and how to find peace in this world of duality where we live in a world that includes suffering, includes ups and downs, includes pain, and includes joy. So we need to know how to sail the ship of the human body the correct way so we can have the most joy and the least of the pain and suffering of this world. And in order to do that, we have to keep holding the hand of our guide, the hand of our master, the hand of the perfect one. Ishwar Puri Ji, we are so blessed in this life that we have found the perfect one, that we have found the perfect one, that one who comes from the kingdom of God and who holds our hand to pull us back to our true home. What a great luck that we have struck. We have struck the spiritual lottery. We have become rich just by the presence of the perfect one in our life. That life cannot get better when we have the guide in our life. And to have constantly the connection with the guide, then the pain, the suffering, and the unhappiness of this world becomes less and less, more joy, more happiness, and more satisfaction, more contentment, and more bliss, grace, and mercy descends on us when we just keep our attention on the Holy One. Once we keep our attention on on the Holy One, then we have nothing to worry about. All of us here who have made a connection, in an intimate connection, a relationship with the Master, where we met him, we looked into his eyes. Some of us he initiated, and some of us he did not initiate, but he developed a relationship. He developed a relationship with the ones who met him. And for all of us who met him, we have nothing to worry about. We have nothing to worry about. A lot of talk now is coming up all over. People are worried. Their minds are coming. Who's the successor? Who's coming to guide us after Ishwar Puri Ji? And when we listen to the words of the Master, what he said regarding this subject, we know that we are on his list. We are on his list to go to the kingdom of God, not on any other person's list. And all what we have to do is that nourish our relationship with the Master, who might have left his physical body, but he has never left us. That he is sitting inside each one of us who have developed a relationship with him, who sat in a meeting with him, who held his hand, who looked into his eye, who was present in his satsang. All these people, all of us, are very, very lucky that when the Master takes a look at somebody, he also takes a seat next to the soul of that person and he guides that person. So all of us here, we have nothing to worry about. Who cares who's the next successor? We are not on his books. We are on the books of Ishwar Puri Ji. We just have to develop that relationship. We have to water our soul with the water of life and the manna of life that comes from the Shabd, which is the manifestation of the Master. That the Master manifests himself in the Shabd. He's fully manifested in the Shabd. And all what we have to do is nourish our soul, keep that connection, and develop our love and devotion to our Master, who will certainly pull us at some point. He will pull us to where he is because he loves us. And when we are in love, when we are in love with somebody, we want to be with that person. And the Master, he loves us and he wants us to be with him, not any place else. So he is looking forward to be with us as much as we are looking forward to be with him in our eternal home. So he keeps on working. Each moment of our life after we develop that relationship with the perfect master, then each moment of our life is under his guidance. Each moment, moment by moment, he is in full control. And we have nothing to worry about other than to keep sitting in his boat, to keep sitting in his boat and to keep sailing towards our final destination, which is God, the kingdom of God, and love, until we melt with love and become love. So we have nothing to worry about other than don't jump off the board of the ship. And how do we not jump off the board of the ship? We just have to keep doing our meditation regularly. Every day we nourish our soul. Every day we hand something of our other self, of our lower self, of our ugly self, of our anger, lust, greed, ego, and attachment, we hand it to Master. And in return, he gives us love. And this is all what we have to do, is that we have to keep growing our love and devotion to our Holy Father. Moment by moment, we grow our love and devotion, and we don't worry about anything else. Since our life is under His control, if He feels that we need to find another perfect living master, somebody total like Him, then at some point in our current life, He will guide us there. He will guide us to where that power is working, to where that human being who has the full power of God, who is total, is working, and then He will nourish us. Just like my relationship with Sant Singh. At some point, my life, my soul, is with the hand of Sant Singh. Every moment, he is in full control, and at some point, he saw that I should meet another perfect living master for my continual development, to develop more in God, more my relationship in love and devotion. So he sent me by his grace, only by his grace, he sent me towards Ishwar Puri Ji. And then from there, Ishwar Puri Ji helped me by more love and more devotion and more pull and more awareness, more godly wisdom came when I met Ishwar Puriji. So it was all the grace of my master Santakar Singh to send me that way when he saw that it is the appropriate time and that my soul needs a perfect living master. So it took some time. It took some time. Santakar Singh left the body in 2005, and I met Ishwar Puriji in 2012. Sometimes we might even meet a perfect living master, but he might not pull us because we are not on his books. We are not on his books. When we are on the books of the master, on his list to take us back home, we fall in love with him directly. Every word he says, we fall in love. Every action he takes, we fall in love. And we are so attracted to that person, to that perfect person, that perfect human being who's one with God. We are so attracted. He pulls us with his love. So we might meet some perfect living master, and it might take time to be pulled by his love, as it took me 5 years to get to fully open my heart to Ishwar Puri Ji. It takes time. Why? Because my soul was in the books on the list of Santakar Singh. So we have nothing to worry about. We have met the perfect ones, and we will be guided. Every moment after initiation is under the full control of the master power. Sometimes we go through periods where it's a dry period, or a period of suffering, or a period where we think we are like kind of what happened to our connection with God. What we go through those periods at some points, and that is all payments of karma that we have nothing to worry about. The most important thing, that no matter what we go in life, whether it is ups or it is downs, whether it's good or whether it's bad, that we keep our meditation. We keep our meditation no matter what, and that way we will keep progressing. and happiness and smiles will always be on our face, that we will be happy. Why? Because we have fed our soul with the holy light and the holy sound. Once the soul is fed, then everything else connected to the soul, the mind, the body, and the intellect is healthy. Or that the soul, when it gets its food from God and from the kingdom of God, from the holy Shabd, the word God, then it is happy. Then it starts to radiate the source of all creation. And then when it radiates the source of all creation, then we are in a good shape. We are in a good shape and we are always happy. And we can go through our karma in a very graceful, peaceful way, that no matter what happens, we have been given, our soul has been fortified. Our soul has been fortified with the grace of the Master. It has been given thick boots that when it walks on the thorns and thistles of this life, the karma, it doesn't get affected. The mind even does not get disturbed when it is when the soul is fully connected with God, and no matter what happens, we will stay in an equipoise, in a very serene mood, and in a very a peaceful manner we go through this life. So all what we have to do is just like a sponge. We are just like a sponge. When you put a lot of soap on the sponge and you put it under the water, and then you squeeze it the first time, then soap still comes out, the foam comes out. Then you squeeze it again and again and again and again, and still the soap comes out. This is how much dirtiness is, how much we have anger, lust, greed, and ego. And every time we connect with our Master, every time we feed our soul, then there is a squeeze on that sponge, just like the squeeze that will get more soap out. And all what we have to do is just be patient. Be patient. I am not very patient sometimes, that I'm always in a hurry. I want Sachkand. I want the kingdom of God now. I want it now, and I want my awareness to expand to that extent right away. So I have also to learn patience and perseverance, and to just sit in the boat of Master and let him work. Let him work. Surrender to the will of the Master. That's what I have to learn, and all of us, I think, we have to learn to surrender to the will of the Master, that our journey is under his control. And we just have to surrender and not keep asking when, and when. He knows when is the best time for us to be pulled to the highest regions. So all what we have to do is keep on squeezing on that sponge and keep on getting we have to become empty. We have to become empty in order for him to fill us up. Once we become empty, we have no more anger, no more lust, no more greed, and no more attachments. Then he is ready to fill us. And what is God? What is Master? Master is love. Master is pure love, and he will fill us with that pure love. And then we will become pure love, and we will have nothing to worry about. We have nothing to worry about. So until then, until we become empty, he will not fill us to the brim. He will not fill us to the brim. And if our cup is still full of the other stuff, then he has to take it out. He has to take it out, purify it, polish it, clean it, and then fill us out with his love. Fill us out with the grace of God and the kingdom of God. How beautiful it is to hear the shabds in the morning that come from the Gurbani. That the shabds that come from the Gurbani are so charged. They are so vibrated with the essence of life, with the truth and the wisdom. And when we start satsang by reading those shabds, listening and reading the translation of the shabds, it is such a powerful thing. Such a powerful thing that it vibrates us and it prepares us. It prepares us to be alone with God. To be alone with God is where we can find rest. When we are alone with the Master inside, there is the full rest. There is the full rest when it is just us and Master inside. And for that to happen, we have to also watch out what we see in our outer eyes and what we hear with our outer ears. That sometimes we are not very careful and we see some images, and every image that we see, it takes an imprint on our astral self. It takes an imprint. It's like an indelible print that takes hold. And sometimes we are not very careful because we live in the negative world and we allow our ears to hear something that is opposite of God, or we allow our eyes to see something sometimes by accident. Sometimes by accident, if we are on Facebook or on YouTube, that we see some images that are opposite of God, and then they take a hold of us. And then when we try to sit in meditation, we find, oh my God, why is my mind like that? Why am I having these feelings? Or why is this coming up? It is because of things that we have not watched out for. That's why we have to be very strict, not to allow ourselves to waver, not to allow ourselves to see or hear something that is not coming from the Master. Jesus said in the Holy Bible that we have to also, all the saints and Master, that whatever we hear, we should only hear the voice of the Master. And whatever we see, it has to be also holy. That we have to watch out what comes inside of us from the outside world, and that way then we can, when we sit in meditation, our mind will not become restless. It will be more quiet, and when the mind is more quiet, we can experience our true self. And what is our true self? Our true self is soul. We can experience ourself as soul, and then we will be, and soul will be with God, and then we'll get all the blessings of God. So for us who have developed a relationship with Ishwar Puriji, he's sitting inside of us waiting 24/7. And all what we have to do is to reach some type of purity, some type of cleanliness, to a certain degree where we can be able to see him. And then we will be able to see him inside. When we see him inside, then that is the best thing, to see the inner master. There is no higher experiences. Who cares about colors? Who cares about sounds if we see the inner master? Once we see the inner master, he is all. He is the beginning, he is the in between, and he is the end. He is the alpha, the omega, and in between. That is what is the most important thing, is that we see the inner master. Once we see the inner master, our journey is over, and then he will take care of everything. So for those who have found the inner master, that's something very great. For those who don't see the inner master yet, just make sure to watch out what comes into you from the outer world, that it is not negative, and to keep the practice of the meditation, to keep satsang, attending satsangs, and then all wisdom, all purity will be.
Welcome, friends with the mask. Welcome, friends without the mask. I am very happy that we are wearing masks, because I have been saying for the last 55 years, we are all wearing masks, which is our human body. It's a mask upon ourselves. And today we are telling, put a mask on the mask. So we have got used to masking ourselves, to hiding ourselves behind masks. I am very happy to welcome you, and once again to tell you, I have received over 1,000 messages from all over the globe informing me that all my friends and their families are safe and not been affected by the coronavirus. I have to thank Great Master for his blessings. Great Master Baba Sawan Singh has taken care of us and is protecting us even in the midst of this pandemic. I myself also very grateful that he is taking care of me, and I can come and speak to you on this live stream today. But I am speaking like religious people. I am saying, thank you, great master. Another Christian friend of mine is saying, thank God. A Muslim friend of mine is saying, Bismillah, Inshallah, Khuda Hafiz has taken care of me. And Ishwar Parameshwar is being thanked by the Hindus all over India, whoever has been saved by the help of their Ishta or their Lord. Apparently, we are all trying to thank some power that is apparently helping us. Then that means my talk really is not a spiritual way to start, but a religious way. Is there a difference between spirituality and religion? Let me make that a subject of my talk later. Right now, I want to tell you some people have written to me, Ishwarji, we have been hearing you for many years and we find you keep on saying the same things. Why don't you say something new? Don't you have any new topic? What do I answer them? I say that's an indication of old age. In old age, we keep on repeating the same stories, and people out of courtesy don't say we have heard it before. But I'm happy that some of you are brave enough to tell me I'm repeating the same stories. But this also reminds me that one gentleman once came up to great master Baba Saban Singh, and he put the same question. He said, Babaji, I hear your satsangs and you go on repeating the same thing. Sometimes you say it's a new satsang, I'll talk about karma. Sometimes you say I'll talk about satsang. Sometimes you say I'll talk about Satguru. And then you repeat the same things all over again. When will you say something new? And great master said, my friend, have you started meditating 2.5 hours regularly? He said, not yet, but I'm on my way. He said, I'll keep on repeating the same satsang. If there has been no effect by my repeating this for years, you are still not able to follow step 1, why should I change? I should keep on repeating the same thing. I remember great master's words. We all laughed at that, but I realized that just merely listening to something and it going from one ear and getting out of the other is not of great value. What we listen, absorb, put into practice, that is what the usefulness of these satsangs, these talks is. If we just listen to the talk for the sake of entertaining ourselves and then forget about it, it's not worth it. It's not an entertainment. It is something telling us most useful about our own self. What an abundance of information, knowledge, the wealth of knowledge, wealth of happiness, wealth of bliss lies within ourselves. How to get it? If we don't even take step 1 towards it, then we haven't heard enough. And we can keep on hearing the same thing over till it works. So I remember this conversation, but I don't want to just give the same answer he gave, but I add a little more. What am I going to add today? What may look new to you? Then I've thought of it, it looked new to me. So I am going to share with you what is religion and what does it do to us and where does it affect our spiritual growth. Religion has been founded by spiritual leaders. Spiritual leaders who discovered the truth, that the truth lies within our own self. There is nothing outside. That this body is the kingdom of heaven itself. It's the residing place of the Creator himself, that God is within us. They all said the same thing, right from the beginning. Every religious founder has said the same thing. If you want to find God, the creative power, the one that's made all of it that we can experience, find within yourself. It's a very big statement. What have we done to religion? We have made the whole thing external from ourselves. We have built our own buildings, churches. We have built temples. We have built mosques. We have built now synagogues. We have built all kinds of places of worship. Now we have built many ashrams, more buildings coming up. We ourselves, Isha, which is sponsoring my talk, is building a big dome in Rice Lake. We are concentrating on building something outside of ourselves and then going there to search for that which is lying inside us. So one very big change that has taken place because of the religion following spirituality was we have externalized even our understanding of what the truth is and where to find it. How would we define a religion? What would be the most common way by which we can define every religion? I would say, in English words, it would be a system of beliefs. You believe in something, that's religion. To believe in something without validation is more religion. You believe because somebody is telling you is religion. To practice and find out what it is spirituality. The difference between spirituality and religion has been explained many times. Religion is a belief system, spirituality is a practice to discover the truth. Big difference. But what are the religions doing? And which are the major religions? I asked a friend of mine, can you name the major religions? He said, maybe Christianity and Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism, maybe they are the great religions of the world. And I said, they all are belief systems. They all believe in something and which has not been validated, not proven. And they're not willing to test it out. Their validation is the belief. If you believe in it, it's religious belief. There is a heaven, religion says. There is a Swarg. There is a Jannat. There is a great place. And we can describe in very glowing terms what is happening there. So, such beautiful things which don't happen here. Any proof? No. You have to believe it. It's there. Now I want to make a statement which may surprise you. The largest religion in the world based on this definition of a belief system is science itself. The scientists are the greatest priests of that religion. What are they saying? The world is real. Are you willing to check it out? No. That's the empirical study we want. Everything has to be validated against this belief system that this world is real. We can't give up that assumption. Well, the Christian says heaven is real, you say world is real. Where's the difference? Neither heaven is being proven, nor this reality of the world is proven. What is your proof? What is the validation? To make such a great assumption, the most stubborn assumption any religion has made is being made by the religion of science, which says empirical study is the only validation. It must fit into our definition of reality, and therefore, if it doesn't fit in, it's not real. How do you define reality? How do you define the reality of this physical universe? Study it. Is it not all dependent upon your sense perceptions? Is it not true that just because you can see, hear, touch, taste, smell, either directly or through microscopes or telescopes or other instruments that you're creating with these sense perceptions, that you have any knowledge of an existing physical world? Is it a game of sense perceptions or is it a game of reality? Are you trusting your sense perceptions are having an experience that they must be generating reality for you? What about going to sleep, having a dream? Same sense perceptions are working. And while you're dreaming, you say it is real. Your definition of reality is still dependent upon what your sense perceptions are perceiving. Your perception is your reality. You wake up, the same sense perceptions are working now, and you say it's real. Why don't you, for a moment, as true scientists, as explorers of truth, give up the assumption? Say, I am going to look at the assumption again. Is it what we are looking at real, or it is not? When religious leaders came and gave expression to their own belief systems, They believed in it because of some experience that they had. We don't have the experience. We believe their words. We believe the scriptures. We believe the written word they left, spoken word they left. And our belief system is completely without any validation, even from the sense perceptions. But what the scientists are doing is that they are continuously pointing out to us, you must have empirical evidence. You must have evidence in a physical world which we assume has to be real. Now, that's a very big assumption and a very stubborn assumption. Other religious leaders can be persuaded sometimes. Look at the alternative. Look, there is a possibility something else may be real. Try to work it out. Do scientists do that? Well, I have individual scientists. I have worked with individual scientists and call them up and say, please, can you for a moment give up the assumption, which is the basis of all your studies, that the physical experience you are having is a reality, that there are other alternative realities available. I remember when I was at Harvard University in the 60s, two professors of psychology who used to have discussions with many of us. And I would always ask them, why do you assume this is the only reality? And even when they were looking at alternate realities, which they thought are possible from different news that came from the world, that people can see an alternative universe. They still thought we have to depend upon some physical trigger to have an alternative experience of an alternative universe. And they tried Mexican mushrooms. They tried the ingredients in that, LSD, DMT, mescaline. All were tested out, external objects, to have an experience of an alternative subjective reality. They would still think it's a subjective reality created by an external physical object. I had to tell them that you can do it without any physical object at all. The capacity to see that there is alternative to a physical reality is possible within ourselves. At least those two psychologists, Dr. Richard Alpert and Dr. Timothy Leary, were able to experiment that there is something possible inside. As you know very well, Richard Alpert went to India, met Neem Karoli Baba there, was able to practice meditation, wrote books under his new name given by the Baba as Ram Das. He discovered it's not necessary to have a trigger from outside to discover an alternative reality, that this is not the only reality. The other reality is possible. Our definition of reality, if it is merely what we are using now, namely to corroborate the experience of one sense perception with another. I've got this piece of cloth in my hand, I mask. Is it real or not? Let me check it out. Laws of science. I can see it. I can feel its touch. I can knock it and hear it knock against me. I can tactically feel it. All sense perceptions of an experience. And it's real. Is there any other definition of reality you have? None whatsoever. All the reality of science, physics, chemistry, biology, botany, nuclear sciences, go anywhere in any science, all based on our sense perceptions. And we use different kind of things to determine this is real. Dreams are real when you're dreaming. This is real when you are awake. What happened if you find there's another wakeful state to go into? If you can wake to a higher state and another reality appears, will you dismiss it? Not at all. It will follow the same rules. The sense perception will catch it the same way, prove the same way, one sense perception against another, and therefore you say it's reality. Is there any other measure of reality that science can think of? I've never heard from any scientist any other way of checking this reality against another. But you know what happened to religion? The enemy of religion, breaking the religion's dogma and assumptions came from within religion. Catholic religion came, Christianity came, people began to believe in Christian, Rome became a great center of Catholic religion, and some people questioned. Luther came questioning, Protestants came questioning. Today, there are 15, 20 denominations, all challenging each other. I remember my wife and I, we were going and we said, let's go to a church with one of our friends. Oh, I can't go to this church. This is a Baptist church. I am Lutheran. Do you believe in the same Jesus Christ, the Master? Do you believe in the same God? Yes. But we divided it further. What happened to Hinduism? Oh, you can find so many, this Arya Samaj, this Dev Samaj, this other Samaj. The division is multiple. And the division in Christianity, multiple denominations. Islam, all believing in the same Prophet Muhammad, same Allah, the Creator. And they are killing each other because one is Shia, one is Sunni. You look at every religion. The breaking point of religion has come from within religion. Is it going to happen to science? Very much so. Right now, the breaking point is very close to us. Science will break up from the spookiest of things that happened. I am not using this word, Einstein used it. The spookiest thing he ever saw was the discovery of entangled particles, the discovery of quantum physics, the discovery of quantum states, which are completely unknown and do not fit in with our concept of time and space. When you look at entangled particles, reacting to a stimulus simultaneously, no matter how much the distance between them, show there is no distance between them. Where does space come from? First time, physics will be encountering the problem of there being no space and time, and yet we are creating space and time. How are we creating this reality? You will find that just like all other religious belief systems, the belief system in science is also going to be broken. And it will be broken within science itself, because new evidence is coming up which is showing you don't even know what a particle is. And a new thing coming up, not very new, but relatively new, that the human observation can convert a wave into a particle, can convert something that is energy into something we call material. If this is proven to its logical end, it means the human observation can create the entire matter that exists. It means human observation is creating this whole universe. I am talking of physics, modern physics. I am not talking of metaphysics at all. If science can come to that level, then within science, the question mark has been raised. Is science believable as a belief system? It's a belief system like any religion, and it has to be exposed as a system of beliefs without validation. If you want to validate that this reality is the only reality, it has to be done with means other than the same means you are using, which will make a dream a reality, a wakeful, higher wakeful state a reality, and therefore do not depend upon sense perceptions alone. What else is there for us to validate something other than sense perceptions? Any reality. My answer to people who come to me is, there's something deeper than sense perceptions. Where do sense perceptions come from? Go to the source of it. Do sense perceptions work in a dead body? Same eyes, same nose, same ears, same body, same hands? No. Life gives them the power to function. And then we question what is life? A question mark that had not been answered by medical science for a very long time, for centuries. What makes life? How come when life ends, the body system is intact, organs are intact, they cease to function? What has left? What is there that is making these systems work? Not only systems of perception through the sense perception, systems that are generating the power of thinking, the power of thoughts going in our head, the power of intuition, power of functioning in knowledge in acquisition of knowledge with no time at all. How can you have a certain form of functioning of experience going on within you without the use of time? Intuitive knowledge comes timelessly in not even a fraction of a second, in no time. Where does it come from? Where does a sense of beauty come from? Where do these things happen suddenly? Where do we sudden gut feeling come from? Taking no time. Does it come from the mind? A thinking mind, do we think about it? Not at all. Every thought takes time. You look at the process of thinking, no thinking is possible without time. Time is a must for thinking. Time is a must for the mind to function. Time is a must for a sense perception to function. Sense perception must function subordinate to the mind. And what is that inside us which can function without time? Is it the life itself? What part of life is generating something which gives us an awareness we call intuition? If you look at that, the mere fact that we have the capability of being aware is a more powerful thing than sense perception per se. Can we not then use that as an alternative method? Not being aware of what is there in sense perception. What is awareness itself? Why can't we go back into study of awareness and not study of the thing of which we are aware? Why are we confined in science as a religion on the assumption that awareness has to be used to become aware of what is around us? What about study of awareness itself? Where does it come from? Now, if we were really open up, if science were to be non-belief system, but truly a discovery of truth, to find out what is the truth, as they claim, we should study the origin of awareness, not the origin of perception. Origin of perception, we have done plenty. We spent centuries in doing that. Let's go towards discovery of awareness. Where does that come from? If we want to study awareness, we have to study where we are aware. We are aware of things outside of ourselves. We want to study awareness, it has to be within ourselves. That's a given. It's not a belief system. It's a given experience. If we want to go with an experience of something that is not external and we want to study awareness, where do we go to study awareness? Well, let's look at ourselves. What is our self? Start from there. Our self. In the physical world, our self is a physical body. We can't see anybody else. Others are all separate. Our self is our physical body in which we are sitting and looking outside, an extended world around us, available to us through sense perception. Now, the self we are talking of is eyes are looking. Are the eyes looking at things? When I use my two eyes to see, I see something very strange in them because I can see with one eye. I put my hand on one eye and see, and quickly change to the other eye. Things I was saying have moved. They are not at the same place. Anybody can try that. Are there two things we are seeing? Absolutely. You take your finger in front of you and look at a distance, you see two fingers. One more bright, the other less. That means the eyes are seeing two things and we are seeing one thing. Where are the two things that the eyes are seeing become one thing? In perception alone, in one visual perception alone. Where are they becoming one? Where are we seeing one? Are we seeing that one outside of ourselves or inside of ourselves? The answer is very clear. Try it out. We are seeing it inside. How far inside do we have to go to combine the two images and make it one? Examine it carefully. If we want to combine the two images, and the images can come closer when we try to concentrate outside, they become further away when we concentrate inside. Where are we combining the whole experience of vision as one vision in three dimensions being created by combination of the two images? We have seen that in 3D movies now. They put special glasses to show two screens as one, and a three-dimensional effect takes place. Isn't it the same process taking place now, that we are unifying two images by two eyes into one image inside ourselves? If you calculate carefully and combine the two images, they would fall exactly in the middle of the head. That's where we are seeing one image. Eyes are not seeing one image, we are seeing one image. Obviously, if the receiving of this perception is taking place there, we are becoming aware that we are seeing at that point. It's not difficult. Okay, let's take second sense perception. Hearing. They are the two most important sense perceptions, both very close to the center of our head. Eyes in front, ear on the side. Now when we hear sound, external sound, it hits our eardrums, and we hear. The two ears don't hear the same sound. Why not? Because if a sound is coming from a side, one ear hears it first and louder, other ear is further away. It cannot hear the same. But what happens? When we combine the two sounds, which are hearing different, we say it's coming from this direction, one sound. Same principle. That we are combining two sense perceptions to make it one, then where are we hearing that one sound in a certain direction? By combination of two sounds separately being heard by two ears, we hear one sound from a definite direction. The direction is being created by the ears, by two ears. Therefore, the creation of the direction is not taking place in either ear. It's taking place in the center between the two ears. Now imagine, put these two together, the vision we are having, the three-dimension vision, we are seeing, not with the eyes, but the pictures taken by the eyes, the center of the head. The two ears are not hearing the same thing, they are hearing two sounds, combining them in the center of the head. Meditation behind the eyes with love and devotion, where you visualize your beloved and you express your love to the beloved in the best way you can and see the results of it. Please assume that your body is your house and you are sitting on the 6th floor of that house behind the eyes. First, establish yourself in the meditation chamber behind the eyes, then visualize your beloved, then start any kind of meditation you want, including Simran, listening to the sound, or conversation with the Master. No other thoughts, only conversation with the beloved. Stay in the center, don't go out. Receive the love of your Master and express your devotion in any way you want.